Morning, everybody, and welcome to another wonderful Business Spotlight interview with Stephen Fern. Now, I interviewed Stephen about a year ago. He's from 200 Degrees Coffee, and so therefore we're just catching up to see what's happening. But first and foremost, Stephen, just give us a bit background about the business and yourself, etc.
Oh yeah, so 200 Degrees has been around for sort of 11, 12 years now. I joined just over 5 years ago as FD, was promoted to MD over 2 years ago now. And despite what's been ups and downs the last 5 years with COVID, war in Europe, utility costs, wage inflation, etc., the business continues to go from strength to strength. We have 21 coffee shops now around the country. We've got 7 barista schools. We've got a growing wholesale customer base, over 500 customers. We've got a growing online and subscriber base. And again, despite all the challenges, the business is in good shape.
It started out with one coffee shop in Nottingham roasting. Do you still roast your own coffee?
That's right. So we roast our own coffee in the roastery in Meadow Lane, just opposite Notts County Football Club. And the idea was established from the two founders, Rob and Tom, who had a hospitality outlet themselves. They weren't happy with the customer service they were getting from coffee roasters. And so what they did, so they set up their own roastery. Over a period of 12 months or so, creating their own blend, which is still drinking in our coffee shops today. And through organic growth, people tasting their coffee in their existing outlets back then, they started to grow a wholesale customer base. And the second part of the story was the training element that they weren't receiving from coffee roasters. So they put two and two together at the time. We know a lot about hospitality. We now roast our own coffee. Let's open a coffee shop. So they did, but they also put a barista school above Flying Horse Walk in Nottingham, so they could not only train our own teams, they could also train our wholesale customers, but also take members of the general public on their own coffee journeys as well. And you can do fun team building events and just have some good old fun with coffee and making latte art and all that kind of good stuff.
Absolutely fantastic. And obviously it's gone from strength to strength. How you said you got 21 outlets now.
That's right, yeah.
And so what cities are they in? I mean, where are they?
So they're spread around the country. The heartland is sort of Nottingham and the East Midlands, but we're also in Leeds, York Designer Outlet. We're in the Northwest, so we've got a shop in Manchester, two in Liverpool, one in Chester, and we've also got a couple in Birmingham, one next to the train station at Lower Temple Street, Colmore Road, and also Cannock Designer Outlet, Lincoln, Leicester, Sheffield. So we're starting to spread, and we're looking to continue our growth into the northeast, further into West Midlands area, and again, continue to grow in the northwest as well as where we already are in the Midlands and around Nottingham.
So, I mean, we'll go on to some, what's actually happening in the marketplace and everything like that in a bit. But that's quite a phenomenal growth. So, how come you've been able to achieve that growth?
I think we can score people's coffee knowledge and coffee levels on a crude matrix of 1 to 5. 5 being proper coffee aficionados. You can taste a coffee, know where the bean comes from, similar to wine tasting, versus your ones, which was absolutely me 5 years ago. I'll go into a Shell petrol station, get a coffee, it's hot, it's wet, it's fine. And I think that what we've managed to do is create an environment with the barista schools and the training and coffee knowledge and education, which is taking people on their journey. Coffee's been growing year after year in the UK, and it's becoming more of a mature industry, but individuals are becoming more and more savvy in terms of what good looks like. And so I think from a product perspective, I'm not being biased here, but I think we offer a really good product offering against some of the competition. But I think what's been absolutely key to the fundamental growth is the experiences that we deliver. COVID taught us, many things, unfortunately. And one of them is that we have a thirst as human beings for social interaction and experiences. And our coffee shops are set up in a way that they allow people in this crazy, busy, hectic world we live in, whether it's 5 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour of peace, serenity. We're not trying to sell everywhere you sit. It's just we do table service, so order your drink, you can sit down, make yourself at home, we'll look after you, and that's our job. So we're trying to deliver experiences to remember throughout the whole journey. And I think more and more people, if we open up opposite our competition, we just need to get them in. And once they experience again, not just the environment, the product, our teams, the engagement that they get, the food, you know, it's a very easy decision for them to make, to change their routine and change their habits to become a 200 degrees loyal brand advocate.
That's absolutely fantastic. And how do you actually market the brand?
So, you know, we've been evolving as a business over 10 years. And I think from a marketing perspective, we see our shops as the best marketing tool we have in terms of trying to sell wholesale coffee. And many of our customers, our wholesale customers, will be individuals who are setting up a coffee shop for the first time. They won't understand a lot of the intricacies that come with hospitality, whether it's back of house space, EHO compliance, staff rotary and IT systems, till systems, all that kind of good stuff. So what we found from a wholesale perspective is that we can take them into our shops. They can see the customer journey. They can see our employee onboarding and how we recruit, how we train our teams. And so our wholesale customers get a lot more than just a coffee machine and coffee. They get a full wraparound of how to open and operate a coffee shop successfully. So that really helps from a wholesale perspective. And then you got your traditional ways. We've got an app now with thousands and thousands of users and 20,000 transactions a month going through the app, which is great. We're continually looking to develop our website and push out information. And again, the barista schools. It's about education. It's about fun. It's about making coffee or specialty coffee more accessible to a much broader audience. And again, that's what we managed to do with our coffee shops and barista schools.
Fantastic. And really interesting point. I just picked up on that because lots of people are talking about you can't get labour, people are rubbish, whatever, which they're not, I hasten to add. But you have a very strong team ethos, don't you, and a strong training ethos.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, if you look at our central team employee turnover, it's next to nothing. A lot of people have been here since day one. We've got a real stable workforce now. Your hospitality, there is a natural level of attrition in hospitality, but we get a lot of people who, occasionally they may move across the competition, but very quickly they come back. And the biggest thing, you'd have heard this a million times in your interviews, is about culture. And we deliver our culture through our core behaviours and our purpose and our passion, which, as I mentioned already, was experiences to remember. We refined it a little bit a year or so ago now. When you're growing geographically diverse, trying to maintain and grow your culture is really tricky. So we engaged with a brand company, and they just helped us just refine and tweak some of our values and our branding. And what we came up with was, again, building on the experience to remember point. We're humans inside as a business. It's absolutely our guests and our teams are the most important thing. And I know that can come across as a bit of a cliche sometimes, but it's absolutely fundamental. And the way we define that humans inside is through our core values. We are people, we are coffee people, and we are colourful people. And coffee people, we're experts in our field. We've got the barista schools, we roast our own coffee. We're people, we put them absolutely first, before anything. And we're colourful people. We let people be themselves. We let people wear what they want. There's no uniforms. We want people to just be themselves, have fun at work hard, go on their career journeys if they want to. They might be here just for a summer job, and that's absolutely fine as well. And the way we deliver those values, because again, lots of companies will have values plastered over the walls, in offices, on PowerPoint presentations. Nobody remembers the values because invariably they're too long and too wordy. But for us, it's our core behaviours, which are really easy to understand, really clear, and they're embedded in our recruitment, our onboarding, our training, our rewards and recognition programs. And the first one is, and these are in priority order, following the sort of Damien Hughes Barcelona way methodology. Caring. We define that as do the right thing. So I could bore you to tears with examples of day in, day out in our shops, in our central teams, where we do the right thing to make sure our guests and our customers get the best experience possible. The second one is customer centric, as I've just alluded to. Customers are at the heart of everything we do. The number of times I'll be sat in the roast house, a wholesale customer will ring on a Friday afternoon and say, my general manager's forgot to put the coffee order in for the weekend, it's not arrived. What are we going to do when we run out of coffee? Everybody in our central offices will stop what they're doing. Where is it? Where are they? They're in Mansfield. Okay, throw the coffee in the car, I'll be there in half an hour. Our to-do list do not matter as long as the customers get the experience that they deserve. And then the last one is can-do attitude. And again, whether it's COVID, whether it's credit card, debit card systems going down, whatever it is, people will roll the sleeves up and just, put things to action to make sure, again, our teams and our guests get the experience they deserve. And so, that's, it's that culture, it's those core behaviours which help us build the team ethos and the quality of service that we pride ourselves on.
Guys, that's a great share for everybody and great learnings, and we'll talk about that for hours. So, broad spread, what are you seeing around the country in terms of difference in growth or culture or whatever? I mean, so how are you actually seeing things?
I think hospitality is still a tough industry to be in. There's plenty of businesses which are struggling. We're fortunate that we're of a size where we can absorb different periods of ups and downs in the economy, or in the high street in terms of footfall. For example, we opened in Chester last year, and one of the competitors just a couple of doors down from us just closed, a small independent. So it's still tough out there. I think, interestingly, we're finding, so our financial year starts the 1st of April. So year to date, up to yesterday, our like-for-like revenues are 16% up, and that's a mix of both average transaction value and transaction volume, i.e. footfall. So I think more and more people are coming back to the high streets, the designer outlets that we're in, are continuing to have fantastic growth as well. So although, there's always, when you've got a portfolio of 21 shops, there's always one or two who you'd like to be doing a little bit better. But for the most part, we're seeing some fantastic growth compared to last year. And more and more of our wholesale customers, the larger ones, are starting to dictate employees to come back to the office 5 days a week, or 40, a little bit more. So, that's only good for ourselves, especially for the high street as well. And again, it's just, you go out to the high streets and you want to see a bustling high street. You want to see people. You want to hear the noise, and you want to see people, spending the hard-earned cash in the shops, and especially in the independents that are trying so hard. Because again, when you think about rent and rates and utilities, there's still, utility prices are still usually up on what they were pre-pandemic and pre-utility prices. So those issues haven't gone away. And you can argue all day long about minimum wage growth and the 10% increases which keep coming. As a business, we'll keep absorbing them. What it is doing is putting more money in people's pockets. So hopefully they can still go out there and spend that on a cup of coffee.
That's absolutely fantastic. So basically, what we're actually saying here with the high street, it's a big debate about the high street, but I go to high streets, and some of them are actually what I call destination high streets. We have lots of the independent butcher, they have the independent coffee shop, they have all this kind of stuff, the independent bars. Do you think that's the future of the high street?
I mean, just from what we've seen, where you've got local authorities that are looking to really invest and regenerate areas, they can do a real good job of it. Lincoln is a good example of this. We've been in Lincoln 5 years now, and that is one of our strongest shops. And the local authorities have done a great job of regenerating, part of their city centre. It's fantastic to walk around, pedestrianised, lots of great shops and bars and restaurants, and it's an enjoyable place to go and have a stroll. New car park, which is great. So it's making it accessible. I was thinking today, I'm at a potential new site for us, which is another designer outlet. The car parking is fantastic. It's so easy to get in and get out. And you look at the demographic of people around it. It's a lot of the elder generation are retired, and you can understand why, because it's so easy for them to park up and then have a stroll around, sit down, have a coffee and a tea cake, do a bit of mooching, and then go home. Whereas getting to city centres is a lot more difficult and costly. So I think. We're from Nottingham. Huge brand new car park opened a few years ago in the Broadmarsh. It's pretty reasonably priced. So it's things like that cities have to think about in order to get people, back in and spending the money.
Brilliant. So what does the future hold?
Hopefully an England manager that's going to win as a major tournament at some point. But outside of that, I'm still getting over it. Outside of that, More of the same. We're starting from a wholesale perspective. We're winning some fantastic marquee clients. We just won the University of Birmingham, which is great, and we're looking forward to really driving their coffee sales and coffee growth. Again, there's more great opportunities there. We just launched our to-go coffee concept. So again, you're used to seeing the standalone coffee units in petrol stations and around and in co-ops, things like that. We just launched our own. We're really confident about the technology in there that will deliver fantastic coffee on brand for us. So we're excited by that. Our online subscription base continues to grow. We're looking to invest, significant amount of money in our website to make that customer journey and all that flow much easier, and even more on brands. We're launching slightly tweaked barista school classes so that, again, just making them more and more accessible. We launched a shorter version of a class which is more based around just latte art, because that's what people have a lot of fun in, just trying to make the different shapes and patterns, and that's going fantastic. So again, it's making things much more accessible. And then more shops. We've got a couple more shops in the pipeline already signed up for early next year, which will be good. We're looking again. I'm looking at one hopefully for before Christmas this year, and just continue to grow and build on the culture, and hopefully keep pushing forwards.
Brilliant. Well, lovely. What a great story. What a great growth story for everybody. High street, everything wholesale, wonderful. Challenging, let's put it this way, slightly inferior brands go off dispensing. That's what shouldn't really say that. Probably some lawyer would come along but beat me up. But Stephen, that was absolutely fantastic. Thanks so much. It was great catching up with you.
Yeah, no problem. It's our pleasure. Thanks, Tim.